Alright, so let's go over how to convert from standard form, so this is called standard form, the way this looks right now, to conic form, which we also call conic form general form. So I'm not going to write that out, sorry, but it's also called general form. And so when we're going from standard to conic, what you're going to do is basically multiply this out and multiply this out. So x minus 1 squared. So think of it. What does 3 squared mean? Well, 3 squared means, 3 squared means 3 times 3. So x minus 1 squared means, and I'm going to come over here, x minus 1 times x minus 1. So you're going to write it out twice. So x minus 1 squared is x minus 1 times x minus 1. And then I'm going to change colors here. Y minus 6 squared means y minus 6 times y minus 6. All right. Now from here, we're going to multiply these out. So we're going to distribute. And the way that looks is, and I'll again change this here, is this term here has to multiply by both of the terms in the other parentheses. So x times x and x times negative 1. And then we do the same thing with negative 1. We multiply that times x, and we multiply that times negative 1. So if I do that, x times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And then negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So that's that one, and I can actually simplify that to x squared. Negative 1x and negative 1x is negative 2x. And then plus 1. So that's that part. So I'm distributing that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the y's. So I'm going to do y times y, which is y squared. Y times negative 6. So again, this y multiplies by both of these. So y times negative 6 is negative 6y. And I do the same thing with negative 6. Negative 6 times y is negative 6y. And then negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36. And I'm just going to put equals 81 over here. And then we just combine these like terms here, and we get y squared minus 12y plus 36. All right, and then equals 81. So once you get to this point, so the first thing you do is write them out twice. So x minus 1 squared is just x minus 1 times x minus 1. Y minus 6 squared is just y minus 6 times y minus 6. You distribute both of those out, like we did here. And now we're going to write it in a specific order. So the specific order is, if you look at these problems, is we have x squared, x, y, constant. So x squared, x, y, constant. So I'm going to come over here, and you can kind of ignore this for right now. So I have x squared, y squared, x, y, and then constant. Now notice we actually have two constants here. We have 1 and 36. Well, if I add those, I get 37. And we're not quite done yet. Because if you look up here, notice they're all equal to 0. So all I have to do to make that happen is subtract 81 from both sides. because I want 0 over here. So then my final answer would be, and hopefully I didn't make any mistakes, x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 12y. And then what is this? 37 minus 81. Negative 44. And that will be your answer. So this is in general form, or what's known as conic form. So I'm going to send this to you, and then I'll go ahead and also make a video going over the other example.